Hello, everybody. My name is Zoro Chaos, and welcome to the table. I hope you enjoy your stay. I know this is pretty late, but it was pretty hot today, up to like 27. And it cooled down like a few hours ago. So I think this is a good time to stream. Pretty late, but I can do at least an hour and a half, maybe two. So we will see from there. Turn on Enderal screen at least. And we will go from there. Game screen. They said everything's working. Except for this, where the aspect ratio is weird for some reason. Noob! Thank you for the follow. Much appreciated, my friend. How are you doing? You know, I changed my camera over here. So, you know what? I'll just keep it here. We'll just try a little bit of change. How are you doing, noob? Nice to see ya. Sorry, this is normally later than I usually stream. Though, I also don't normally stream Wednesdays. Oh. You should, I don't know if you've heard about, Tropical Storm Fiona, but, large parts of Canada got hit, a large part of the coast got hit by that here in Canada. Lots of people missing or dead. Pretty terrible there.
Potatoes, garlic, tomatoes.
Between darkness
That should be
and
it.
light.
That's just how it is.
Advance the fleet! Always forward! Always forward! Forward, forward.
Alright, oh yeah, I feel for the people who live south of you. This is my armor, so I'm really good. Upgrade this stuff. I also should probably eat some food. Where do I want to go? Button dust. Yeah.
A penny, madame. Please, just one penny.
Gross stuff. Alright, take care, noob. Thank you for the follow. Hopefully you catch me on Friday or whenever I go live. Oh, just a quick question and general information. If you didn't know, I also upload my VODs to YouTube, and my channel name is in the description of the stream. So go check that out if you want to, my friend. If you're able to. Let's go to... Alright, take care, noob. Thank you again.
Madame, move along.
Let's get...
Ah, you've come at the right time. There's a fight soon, and you're the perfect candidate. 2 versus 1. Interested? The twins. 2 nasty, hairy beasts of men with even nastier axes. Yeah, I know, the odds are against you, but what should I say? The crowd wants it, I deliver. What do you say? Oh yeah, but judging by how you fought, I think you stand a chance. Still, it'll be dangerous. So, what do you say? Bold words. All right, then go downstairs and warm up. I'll tell you when we're ready.
Mesdames and messieurs, a cordial welcome to the Dust Pit. You know who I am, I know who you are, and above all, I know why you are here today. Because you want to see a fight! Today, 2 familiar faces will fight a rookie who you've already grown to love. The twins against the mysterious warrior only known as the Nameless One. It is a battle to the death, a battle about gold and blood. Now enough of the words. Time to give you what you've all been waiting for. Warriors, fight!
Should have placed my name on the tail.
Don't have anything of use. And I see... I wish it was brighter here.
What do you want? Ah, sure. Sorry. I was... elsewhere. Here's your share. Well deduced, detective. His shadow tribute, which my esteemed father, who rediscovered his juvenile spite in his last years, refuses to pay. Which, in return, means that the nice guy who just paid me a visit will send us some of Rolata's goons to either set fire to our establishment, or send my father onto the Eternal Paths a couple of years earlier, if I don't think of something. Protection money. If you want to stay alive down here, you have to pay. Oh, you have no idea how the wind blows down here, do you? Thanks for the offer, but no. Only an utter idiot would take on the Rolata. 2 or 3 days, give or take. Oh, I know you'd love to jump right back in. But if we start doing battles every bloody minute, the crowd will lose interest. And money. Just swing by in a couple of days, all right? You'll get your fight.
Alright, I'll wait for the next battle instead of going out on adventures.
Look at that. You have a talent for showing up when you're needed. You know that? There's a fight coming up, and I want you to participate. Gur Halnan. He's been fighting for a while now. A brute in heavy armor. With a couple of, how should I say, special techniques he picked up in his homeland, Arazil. I won't lie, He'll be a tough nut to crack. Aren't you eager? You know the drill. Go downstairs and warm up. The fight will take place in a couple of hours.
All right.
Mesdames and messieurs, a cordial welcome to the Dust Pit! You know who I am, I know who you are, and above all, I know why you are here today. Because you want to see a fight! Today, there is something special on the menu. Or should I say, something savage? Because this is a word that best describes the beast our still undefeated rookie must stand his ground against. Mesdames and messieurs, I present Gur Halnan, the Berserker of the Steppes, versus the Nameless One. Shed some blood, warriors!
All right.
Blazes, what a punch!
And you're dead. Alright. Wish I could see.
Not bad. I have to hand it to you. You're really starting to impress me. I didn't think you'd stand a chance against old Gur. Kinda sad to see him gone, but he knew the risks. Here's your share. Come back in 2 days or so.
More money.
I'll fucking crush you.
Eventually.
What do you want? Ah, aye, we are. This time it'll be exciting. The Ringmaster plans to pair you with Raga Shadowclaw.
Where?
No, but you will soon. She's an alchemist. Small tip from my side, don't let her tender appearance fool you. You'll see why. Aren't you eager? You know the drill. Go downstairs and warm up. The fight will take place in a couple of hours.
This is the fourth battle of the mysterious newcomer called the Nameless One. But will it also be the last? Because this time, we picked a special treat for her to feast on. Mesdames and messieurs, you came for blood, and you shall have it.
Some folks just never learn. Some folks just never learn.
Aren't you already dead?
No!
Nothing. Okay. Give me some of that food, please. Also, it's always so dark. So,
The Father will know what to do. Look who's back! Not bad, not bad. I was expecting you to pee your pants after she did that little trick of hers. But no. You kept your cool, as usual. Sure you don't want to start working as a mercenary? You could make more money that way. Either way, here's your pay.
So many
I had hoped you'd ask that. Aye, I do. And this time, you're in for a real challenge. No. If you're man enough, you'll fight the beast tonight. Aye, the pride of the pit. And the good thing about it, even if you hack it to shreds, all we need to do is give it some elixir and have our necromancer stick it back together, and it's as good as new. I won't lie, though. It'll be hard this time, and chances are you won't make it out alive. If you do make it, though, it'll be worth your time. Something like that, aye. But let's not dwell on the details, shall we? Thought so. Well then.
Defeat the monster.
But can the Nameless One also oppose the beast that's been soaking this soil in blood for decades? We shall see. Unleash the beast! Hey, what are you doing? Get out of the ring now!
Let's see you dance. Nameless One.
Enemy! Blistering blazes, what a punch!
Good. That's enough. Let's talk. Fair enough. This is better. Forgive me my dramatic entrance. I was just about to explain. I'm Thero Naris, voice of the Father. I've been watching you for a while now because I'm looking for someone with your set of skills. And, our little encounter down in the pit erased the last doubts I had about you.
Voice of the Father?
That accent. You're an outlander, aren't you? Shit. Does that mean I have to explain who the Relator is to you?
Guild is...
Right. The Relator is more than a bunch of criminals, though. But we'll get there. Regarding your original question, the Voices are the military arm of the Relator. I'm sure you've seen some of us before. We come into play when a matter needs a strong hand to resolve itself. Indeed. Let me get straight to the point. I want to hire you for a mission. Well, actually, it's simple. I want your help in killing someone. The Father. Their leader, not mine. When I was 6 years old, the Relator abducted me and a dozen other children. That is, they bought us. Shagun, the old cunt who owned our orphanage, she sold us like cattle. Us, and over the years at least a dozen more. And we all came from the same orphanage. The refuge. And no, I have no idea what they did to us. I remember nothing.
Wait, did you just say that the woman who ran the orphanage sold you? Why?
Why? Well, probably because the father shoved an ingot of gold up her ass for every child she sold. But the flesh maggots got her a while ago, so she took her reasons to the grave with her.
You were an orphan.
Yes. That's the big question, isn't it? At first I thought it was about child trafficking. You know, tender little knaves and girls for rich bastards. Ark's bigwigs. Yet now I've come to the conclusion that it must have been about science. Experiments. Only the father. As I said, I'm pretty sure you have the wrong idea about them. The Relata doesn't see itself as a guild of murderers, but as a faith, a sect, a cult, in other words. The blackmailing, the shadow tax, is how they finance the little community. That the physical body is the worst thing that ever happened to man. It's a whole that needs to transcend. But we digress. If we're to work together, you'll soon have some rogue cultists telling you all this shit anyway. Kind of. After the father was done with us, he simply disposed of our corpses. This is also the first memory I have of that time after the abduction. Waking up in a pile of dead bodies.
Hey, Rev.
I don't know exactly, but I must have been somewhere between 12 to 14 years old. Still half a child, in other words. As you can imagine, I was a mess for the first few moons after that. Once I was able to think somewhat straight again, I looked for help in the upper city. Of course, the guards didn't believe a word of what I said and sent me right back down into the caverns.
No worries, Rav. The reason I started late is because it was like 28 today. So... streaming in a cooler time.
Many things are horrible. Still they happen. No. And frankly, it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure hundreds of ragged kids from the Undercity had come to them before, telling them horror stories about how much they suffered down there only to get a bed and some food. Also, as you may have figured out by now, the Order doesn't have any power down here. The Relata controls the caves, and that's how it will stay.
So you're just gonna...
Correct. And let's put it this way. I came to realize that no matter how much I cursed and cried, nobody would come to my help. So I decided to take matters into my own hands. I told myself how to survive and how to fight. And years later, I entered the dust pit for the first time. One of the voices saw how well I could fight and offered me to study the Relats.
Their codex, their holy scripture, written by the Father himself. I shaved my head and became a scion, the lowest rank.
The Father doesn't bother with most Relaim, especially not with the scions. Also, when they discarded me, I was still a child. Now, I'm a man.
Oh, initiation.
8 years ago.
Revenge. Yes. I want this monster to pay for what he did to me and the others. And I want to make sure that it will never hurt anyone again. Ever. One of the core beliefs of the Relata concerns the Day of Transcendence. It's the day when every Relaim who's ever proven him or herself worthy leaves their body to continue existing as an immortal, immaterial being. And they also believe that this day is imminent, since the Father found a way to achieve transcendence for himself and for his lambs. In the weeks to come, it will set out an expedition to the Frostcliff Mountains. Since this expedition will be an extremely dangerous undertaking, he will bring along almost a dozen of the best mercenaries available. You will be one of them, and together, we will kill the Father. I'm telling you this because I need someone who knows how to kill. Better than the usual cutthroat you find down here. And you seem to be that someone. Also, there's something about you. I can't say what, but I feel as though you're the right person for the job. Let's leave it at that. Well, the Relata spent the last 2 years excavating an old temple that apparently was lost in the glacier for centuries. Now, according to the Father, this is where we'll find the key to achieve transcendence, but that's about all I know. No, You either agree now, or the offer's off the table. I can't afford to lose any more time. Well, let's put it this way. I took precautions. If you don't have the guts to help me, your choice, but... believe me, if you do try to backstab me, you'll regret it. Well, I can pay you 400 pennies now, and 800 more once the father is dead. Also, think of all the riches that we'll find in the temple itself, or in the Relata's treasure chambers. It will be worth it. You can trust me on that. By doing something that impresses him. As you can imagine, the Relata already has its stock of sellswords they rely on. But if we do something that impresses the father or the first seer, it might be enough to convince him to hire you. Look, I know how shaky it sounds, but it's our best bet. So, are you with me or not?
Alright.
It will be. Meet me at the Wailing Tree, 2 hours from now. Here. This will help you get back to the Undercity in case you need to return to the surface before our meeting. Stay safe.
Let's add some more HP. Because that will be useful. More HP equals less dying. Also, I need more mage light.
In al bed, sorry.
Pity. He was a good man.
You're not one of the Relata's mercenaries, are you? Word has it they're hiring again. I'd give him a wide berth if I were ye. Hey, bloody wench thinks she's Vatra incarnate. Well, she'll get what's coming to her soon.
Oh, was it really a Saul stream without dying? Well, let's just say because the amount of times I died last stream, if I don't die this stream, it'll balance out.
It's him. It's the Black Guardian.
Sunchild.
Don't you hear it?
An obulus, my dame, please. The Lord will redeem you for your kindness.
Move along.
Oh, fucking gracious.
Alright.
You'll pay for that.
What a surprise. Didn't think I'd ever see you again. I don't want to know. If the Relata asks, you don't ask questions. That's the first rule you should hammer into your head down here. In other words, it's fine. The crowd was a bit disappointed, but technically, you won. Though, as I'm sure you understand, I can't pay you this time.
Bloody vermin. All of them.
How about never?
Why?
Why? Because no pit fighter, no matter how powdered and glimmer-capped Dusty is, will voluntarily fight a friend of the Relata. If he loses, he dies. If he wins, he dies too. Because the Father's voice will come get him. And now come on, don't give me that look. You earned a shitload of money in a very short time. Maybe you can come back in a couple of moons or so, if the dust has settled. But until then, forget about it.
Alright. Can't make money here anymore, which is unfortunate.
Move along.
There you are. Ready? Tree. Oh, yeah, sure. The people down here call it the Weeping Tree. They believe that the Black Guardian, once a year, fulfills one of the wishes they write onto these notes. Superstitious nonsense, of course. They might as well send their wishes to the Blue Island Coalition. Maybe. Ready to set out?
He was a good man.
What do you think? Because we don't want to draw any attention. If somebody sees me walking around with you, it won't be the end of the world, but I don't want to cause unnecessary problems. First, a question. Have you ever heard of the Night of the Blind Daughters? A massacre that took place 20 years ago. It was at the Farmer's Coast, around midsummer. The farmers had just put out the lights after a long day's work. Suddenly, shrouded figures showed up out of nowhere, with steel masks covering their faces. They broke into the houses and killed anybody who dared to stand in their way. While they merely wreaked havoc on most of the farms, any family with a daughter between 12 and 16 winters was less lucky. All in all, these masked people took 10 daughters that night and carried them away. They were found 1 week later. They lay on the Penny Road, mutilated with their eyes sewn shut. 1 girl each mile. To this very day, no one knows. However, there are theories. Do the names the Black Libra and J.L. Tennyson ring a bell? The Butcher of Ark? Yes. Thing is, in this book he left behind, Tennyson claims to have been part of a cult called the Black Libra. Even nowadays there are still scholars that deny its existence, but according to Tennyson, they see themselves as some kind of counterbalancing power. They make sure that malice and sin, they don't gain the upper hand in this world, and that the scales of good and evil thus stay in balance. Well, this is where it gets bizarre. Normally, the Libra only kills people who have already sinned. Tyrants, rapists, murderers, and so on. Which is also why the attack on the Farmer's Coast didn't make any sense, and still doesn't for most people today. However, the father has a theory. Well, he does have an avid interest in them. Let's put it this way. He has dug up every little bit of information that there is. But we'll come to that later. According to the father, the Black Libra chooses their sinners through the dreams of some kind of holy child. The dreams are interpreted by the Libra's priests who extract the names and faces of evildoers from them. However, the child doesn't just see people who have already sinned. She also sees evil in its inception. Thus, the Libra might decide to kill a boy before he becomes a tyrant, or a girl before she gives birth to a murderer.
Yes.
I know, it sounds insane, but that's what it is. But apparently the Libra fully believes in this principle. The child is omniscient. Yes. So it would seem, though according to the father, they wouldn't have just been ordinary murderers, but emissaries of the end. Whatever that may mean. Simple. The father believes that the Black Libra knows the secret to transcendence. This is why he's been studying Tennyson's books like a madman. Especially one in particular, in which he describes the initiation ritual he underwent to become one of their assassins. And I also think that this temple in the Frostcliff Mountains is somehow related to the Libra. Long story short, apparently the pages of Tennyson's original manuscript describing the initiation ritual in detail were forcefully torn out, and the father wants to find them. Right. And I happen to know the only person who might be able to tell us their whereabouts. A man named Collian. Correct. He was also an assassin of the Libra, and Tennyson's mentor. In other words, an unscrupulous piece of shit that did nothing but murder people for decades, guilty, the innocent alike. According to the father, he was also the one who orchestrated the Night of the Blind Daughters. However, that massacre seems to have been too much even for his rotten conscience to bear,
because he left the Lever shortly thereafter. He took on a new identity. He's been living as a beggar in the Undercity ever since. I saw him once. It's no wonder that nobody knows what kind of monster he is. He's gone completely insane. Drinks away every penny he gets his hands on. Exactly. If we bring them to the First Seer and I tell him how I couldn't have done it without you, he might consider hiring you for the expedition. That's the plan. Not the best one, certainly, but, all we're getting. He currently lives in the communes. That is, if he isn't in some whore's bed in the Silver Cloud right now or getting hammered in the False Dog. I'll let you do the talking. It's unlikely that the First Seer will find out, but the more you actually help me on this mission, the more convincing our little story will be. One more thing. Don't go easy on that scum. He might seem harmless now, but remember what he's done. And remember that those 10 mutilated girls on the Penny Road are just one more page in this man's book of sins.
Let's go. I wish I could see.
My dame.
Bloody steel crabs. Always in the way of progress.
Woman thinks she's Fatira incarnate.
Let's go. Have to try and make sure.
Right, that's eating the last penny right out your pocket.
Now there's a treat for the eye. What do you say, darling? Want to spend some time together?
Well, look at that. Our friend has a visitor. Get out of here.
What?
I said, get out of here. We need 10 minutes. Afterwards, you can fuck as many men as you want.
Of course, my lord. At once.
Interesting. Never mind. Look at him. Pissed like a rat. A miracle he could even get it up. I sure as fuck don't want you to cuddle with him. And again, never forget.
Who are you? Nylock is tired. Nylock needs sleep. Kalian? No. Kalian is dead. You're talking to Nylock, his shadow. Why do you ask? Who are you? Information. You remind him of Kalian when he still lived. So much anger in you, so much hatred. Kalian knew this feeling too well. This anger, this cold, rotten wrath. And then the dream came and showed him his calling. But he was so blind, he didn't see where the road led him. Only when those little flowers' corpses lay dead in the dust did he see what he had done, what he had become. Now Kalian has been punished. He's dead, and Nylock deserves to suffer for eternity. Regret. No, Cullian had regrets, yes, but Naylock isn't worthy of these feelings anymore. Regret is a pure feeling, as is absolution, but Naylock doesn't deserve purity. So he hates himself, hates his pathetic existence, hates himself for all the suffering his old skin brought upon the world. I told you! Because Naylock buried his old skin. The Libra doesn't care about Naylock. Why should they? He's vermin. Pages. Naylock doesn't know what you mean. Now please, go. Naylock is tired and needs to sleep.
All right. Let me rephrase my friend's words. You... playing confused oracle and fucking tell us what we want to know now. And then maybe, just maybe, we'll let you live. Are we clear?
But Naylock just...
Are we clear?
Yes, sir. Naylock understands. Please forgive him. So, the pages... Yes, of course, the pages. Naylock remembers. Cullian tore them from Tannerson's book before the world could see them. Yes, of course. But tell me, what do you want with them? You won't be able to read them. Because they're written in the language of the Libra. Even Cullian couldn't read a single word of them. Isn't it obvious? Because something else guided Tannerson's hand when he wrote them. Naylock doesn't have a choice, does he? All right, he will do as you demand. The pages, he buried them together with his old skin. He can show you the pages, but tell him, my dam, if he shows you the pages, could you, well, Naylock is hungry, Naylock is thirsty, and he has no more coin. Yes, Naylock understands. Good. Come, follow. Come, follow.
Alright, I want to really safe.
But Naylock just...
Are we clear?
Yes, sir. Naylock understands. Please forgive him. So, the pages. Yes, of course, the pages. Naylock remember... How long? Years? Decades? No! I told you! Oh, no, he... So, the pages.
He's gone completely
yes, of course,
insane.
The pages. Naylock
I'm guessing
remembers.
all this Naylock
tore
talk
them
is a
from
way for his
Tannerson's
brain
book
to
before
cope
the
with
world
the
could
guilt.
see them.
He's created a new persona without all the blood on his hands. That is, unless he's lying.
What? Why? Why should Naylock lie? What? Why? Why should Naylock lie? Yes, of course. But tell me, what do you want with them? You won't be able to read them. Because they're written in the language of the Libra. Even Cullian couldn't read a single word of them. Isn't it obvious? Because something else guided Tannerson's hand when he wrote them. Naylock doesn't have a choice, does he? All right, he will do as you demand. The pages, he buried them together with his old skin. He can show you the pages, but tell him, my dam, if he shows you the pages, could you, well, Naylock is hungry, Naylock is thirsty, and he has no more coin. But, good, Naylock understands. And maybe you're right. You treat him like what he is, vermin, human waste. Come, follow.
Don't want to lose any more Thariel sympathy. He's really hard to please, the Thariel. Also, this is more content I never did before.
My sir, Naylock has a question.
What?
Your face. You seem familiar. Are you certain that you have never met Naylock before?
How would I know?
Bloody wench thinks she's
Maybe.
Vata incarnate.
Ah,
Well, she'll get soon.
I really need that new herbal essence for my hair.
This is the way to the tar pit. Are you sure that's where we're supposed to be going?
It's like...
I warn you, if this is a trap...
It's not, my sir. Naylock is vermin, but he knows when he has to obey. You can trust him.
I won't. But fine.
Damn the Lightborn. Damn the Order. Damn you all. Oh. Bloody vermin.
Ahoy.
All of them.
Alright.
Look at that. Another snob from the surface.
Show us the way to these buried, broken pages.
Hold it right there, old man. Where do you think you're going? You're a little too old for digging.
He belongs to us. We're acting under the Father's orders.
Brother Wrath, from ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. I didn't recognize you. Forgive me.
From ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. Let us through.
Of course. Father's blessings.
Father's blessings. Keep going, scum.
Yes, of course.
Elevator ride down.
Yes, we're here. This is where he buried the pages.
The deserted tunnels. You should be wary. There are lowlifes down here.
Told him to just hand over the gold, but did he listen? Same shit. Picky popped wrong.
There!
No! Die!
Let's go.
Honey.
Enemy!
Finally, some.
Just a...
There!
I win, it's dead. Ugh. I need...
There. Back there. That's where he buried his old skin. Please, my sir. You need to just take these last few steps alone. Naylock can't. He just can't.
Is this a trap?
What? No, of course not. It's just... Naylock can't. Don't you understand? To see him after all this time? No, kill Naylock if you don't believe him, but he will stay.
Fine. You go on ahead.
Look for the skeleton. You need to dig.
Don't shout.
Finally,
Look out!
Scrap! You fucking scum! You'll pay for that!
Skeleton. I'm not seeing anything. Let's look around.
Both is 5. What I want. Makes like.
Let me see. Yeah. Well, that looks promising. Then I guess we need to dig. Come help me. Here we go. This must be it. Pretty big. What the blazes did he put in there? What's that smell? What the? Oh, shit!
I thought by I buried Colleen, he was speaking metaphorically.
You mean this body is... Nonsense. You want to know what I think? This is probably some poor sod that crossed this lunatic's path at the wrong time. So we put him right into the crate with the pages. Bloody son of a whore. Right you are. Come on. You take them. Got them? All right. Back to Carlion. Get up, scum.
My sir. You found what you were looking for, didn't you? He can tell by your eyes.
We found the pages and something else. Whose corpse is in that chest?
What? But he told you, didn't he? It's Colleen. Naylock buried him. Joke? Why would it be? He said it before, didn't he? Colleen couldn't continue to live in this shell after what he did, so he shed it and gave birth to Naylock. And Naylock buried him, together with the memories. You don't believe him. You think Naylock is lying. But it's the truth, the simple truth. You two, more than anyone else, should understand.
Sure. Either way, we have what we wanted. And now it's time for you to pay for your crimes, Carlion. It's been long overdue.
What? But you said that you would spare him if he'd show you the pages!
We said that we would think about it. And guess what? I did. You're a murderer, Carlion, and you've killed more people than I can count. Men, women, and children. And you know what? This whole act about how remorseful you are, I'm not buying it. Yes, you drank your bloody brains into oblivion, but ultimately, the only one you truly pity is yourself.
I believe there was an achievement for killing him, but it also gives you the bad ending of the quest. So I want to double check the Steam guide, if y'all don't mind. Alright. I could do this all in one playthrough, so I already saved earlier.
Any last words?
Letho.
What?
Naylock remembers. By the name of the sun, you were in the refuge orphanage, you and your friend, Letho.
What do you know about the refuge?
Back then, before the flesh maggot plague, when Naylock was still strong, the Kyranian woman who ran the orphanage gave him work. Don't you remember? He carried crates, he cleaned the floor, he cooked.
That was you? Uncle Naylock?
Yes, that's what you called him, Uncle Naylock. By the Guardians, it's been so long, but he remembers it all now. You and your friend, you were inseparable. Until...
You're right. I do remember.
What?
You were there when they took us. Worse, you helped them. What did she pay you, that old cunt? Huh? Carrying crates? Selling children to the Rolada? All the same, isn't it?
No, what? Naylock doesn't understand. He only...
Let's go. Well, as I said, we're done here. Next we need to bring the pages to the first seer, which will, hopefully, encourage him to consider you as a mercenary for the expedition. But we'll see. Before we do that, though, we need to discuss a couple of things. We cannot afford a single mistake if we want this to work. Meet me in my hideout tomorrow morning, alright? It's a small abandoned warehouse in the main cabin, right before the path up to the city. There's an old poster of the theater right next to the door. That's how you recognize it. The dark corners of our minds. Until then.
All right. That gave me the Price of Sin achievement. Now we'll go to the, I thought I had a quick save.
Hold it right there, old man. Where do you think you're going? You're a little too old for digging.
He belongs to us. We're acting under the Father's orders.
Brother Wrath, from ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. I didn't recognize you. Forgive me.
From ashes to blood, from blood to liberation. Let us through.
Of course.
Alright.
Father's blessings.
Father's blessings. Keep going, scum.
Yes, of course.
Now I want meditation. And I want locked that. DPS is pretty good in my opinion. Don't know why I was sent a message from Canada Trust, but
Yeah, right.
seems weird to me.
Yeah? What do you want?
Now that I know where to go, I'm just going to speed run through the shafts.
Yes, we're here. This is where he...
I want my axe and...
Read the pages.
The deserted tunnels.
Also
You
want
should be wary.
shield.
A lot of lowlifes down here.
Place wrong.
There!
Die! No!
Pathetic.
Finally,
There!
some fun. You fucking scum! You paid for that.
You're a cutthroat.
Let's go. Enemy! Waste of time.
There. Back there.
Alright. Metafungi.
That's where he buried his old skin. Please, my sir. You need to just take these last few steps alone. Naylock can't. He just can't.
Is this a trap?
What? No.
Ay, the prophet's ass. Fucking coward.
Damn you!
You fucking scum! You'll pay for that!
Alright.
Skeleton. I'm not seeing anything. Let's look around. Let me see.
Speed run. Give me that mage light.
Oh, that looks promising. Then I guess we need to dig. Come help me. Here we go. This must be it. Pretty big. What the blazes did he put in there? What's that smell? What? Why? Fine. I can give you the essentials, but beyond that, I can't be bothered. Ask. Above all else, to leave your old life behind you. All contact is buried, all bridges burned. Most Relame call themselves orphans even if they once had a family. In other words, if you conscribe yourself to the Relata, the Relas and its teachings are your new life and the Relame your new family. Everything you do, everything you think, everything you dream is subject to the goal of achieving transcendence. Liberation from the human body. Since the Father founded it, 400 years ago. Correct. Nobody knows, but I would guess it had something to do with his experiments. All those children's corpses must have been good for something, don't you think?
Or he could just be a reasonably powerful arcanist. Because in this game, being powerful in magic extends your lifespan, which is why the Lightborn existed for thousands of years.
This and that. Most of the time I'm busy reminding the residents of the Undercity to pay their shadow tax, and to make them feel the consequences if they don't.
Anything from a clout to the ear to a knife between the ribs. Alright, two things. First of all, I've killed no more than a handful of people for the Relata, and they weren't poor women with babes sucking at their teats, but scum, who knew the rules and thought they could play rebel. Believe me, it takes a lot for the Relata to order the death sentence for someone. They are criminals, yes, and they are led by a monster, but they are not stupid. If every misdemeanor were to be punished by decapitation, it wouldn't be long until there'd be a revolt in the Undercity. Secondly, nothing in life comes for free. If you think you can achieve something of relevance without compromising a part of yourself, then you're a fool. The death of the father could be worth 100 dead cutthroats, and I'd put arrows into each of their chests if it would get me any closer to my goal. You can trust me on one thing, though. Killing these people, it didn't come easy. And some of the things that I did to not lose my cover will haunt me to the grave. But you know what? Sad as it is, the world needs people like me. All these do-gooders who think they could fight evil without getting their hands dirty are self-righteous idiots. The monsters of this world, the murderers, the tyrants. You need to speak their language if you want to be a threat to them. Everything else is a delusion. It is. Why? Well, actually, it's simple. Everybody who lives down here and earns money has to give a part of that to the Relata every month and get protection in return. This applies to everybody, from beggar to crime lord. That's an exception. On the contrary, the Order is quite happy with the way things are going down here. They take care on the shiny surface, and the Relata take care of the stinking caves below. You mean when it comes to killing cocky bandits and vampires? Quite powerful. I don't think you'd find more skilled sinistropes or assassins anywhere else. Of course, in a fair duel with a keeper, most voices would probably end up in the dirt. But that's not how people fight down here.
Glad to get that knowledge point.
That's a bloody stupid question. Okay, let's assume for a moment that we don't intervene and kill the father on the expedition. There are 3 possible scenarios to how this visit to the room of paintings would go down. Number 1. It goes wrong and he and whoever follows him inside all die. This is the only case where you're right. Number 2. He succeeds and actually manages to separate his mind from his body. Then we'd have a spectral murderer floating through the world possessing powers we can't even begin to imagine. Number 3. The temple turns out to be a dead end and he returns to the Undercity. Then we might have missed the only chance to even get close enough to kill him. You get my point? It's too much of a risk to sit on our hands and hope scenario number 1 happens.
Alright, I need... Where's the game?
Oh, shit! You mean this body is... Nonsense. You want to know what I think? This is probably some poor sod that crossed this lunatic's path at the wrong time. So we put him right into the crate with the pages. Bloody son of a whore. Right you are. Come on. You take them.
It's light.
Got them? All right. Back to Carlion.
Speed run.
Get up, scum.
My sir. You found what you were looking for, didn't you? He can tell by your eyes.
We found the pages and something else. Whose corpse is in that chest?
What? But he told you, didn't he? It's Kalian. Nalok buried him. Joke? Why would it be? He said it before, didn't he? Kalian? And Nalok buried him. You don't... But it's the truth. The simple truth. You two, more than anyone else, should understand.
Sure. Either way, we have what we wanted. And now it's time for you to pay for your crimes, Kalian. It's been long overdue.
What? But you said that you'd spare him if he'd show you the pages!
We said that we would think about it. And guess what? I did. You're a murderer, Kalian. And you've killed more people than I can count. Men, women, and children. And you know what? This whole act about how remorseful you are. I'm not buying it. Yes, you drank your bloody brains into oblivion, but ultimately, the only one you truly pity is yourself. What? And to you, that's all that... This is about justice. I thought it's not. But fine. As you wish. You heard it, scum. Today's your lucky day. You...
Letho.
What?
Nalok remembers. By the name of the sun, you were in the refuge orphanage, you and your friend, Letho.
What do you know about the refuge?
Back then, before the flesh maggot plague, when Nalok was still strong, the Kyranian woman who ran the orphanage gave him work. Don't you remember? He carried crates, he cleaned the floor, he cooked.
That was you? Uncle Nalok?
Yes, that's what you called him, Uncle Nalok. By the Guardians, it's been so long, but he remembers it all now. You and your friend, you were inseparable. Until...
You're right. I do remember.
What?
You were there when they took us. Worse, you helped them. What did she pay you, that old cunt? Huh? Carrying crates? Selling children to the Rolada? All the same, isn't it?
No, what? Nalok doesn't understand. He only...
Let's go.
Am I missing something here?
Well, as I said, we're done here. Next we need to bring the pages to the first seer, which will, hopefully, encourage him to Before we do that, though, meet me in my hide. There's an old poster of the theater right next to the door. That's how you recognize it. The dark corners of our minds. Until then.
this is where we will call it. So, thank you all very much for watching. My name is, as always, Zorro Chaos, and thank you for watching. I'm signing off, and I hope to see you this Friday. So, take care, and cheers.